Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Queenie. For those who don't know me, reviewing Married at First Sight season 10 episode 18 and 19. Before I get into it, please make sure to like this video, subscribe and hit the bell, and leave a comment down below. Also, if you'd like to show me some extra support, you can head over to my Instagram, my TikTok, and my second YouTube channel. Some people have been asking what's the handle. It's right here. It's right here. So yeah. Okay, on to the episode. Claire and Jesse are sitting down with Claire's father, who advises them on how to push through adversity.
I kissed another one of the husbands here on a night out.
You told Jess, or did Jess find out from someone else?
I came forward and I told Jesse.
There's things we can get over and things that we can't get over. But it's up to us. We have that decision to make.
If I'm not mistaken, I did hear Claire say that her dad has also been cheated on, so this is a little bit of a touchy subject for him. However, he is still rooting for them. He thinks that this is a blip and it shouldn't deter them from wanting to continue to pursue things. But I'm like, Claire, isn't it convenient that you neglected to share the part that you lied about it for weeks? And then in the process, you gaslit Jesse about it. Unless I wasn't paying attention, I feel like that part wasn't addressed. So, yeah. Rupert and Evelyn are engaging in intimacy week and the photo ranking challenge. And for the most part, it's bringing them closer together.
When Rupert gets nervous, he uses terrible jokes as a deflection.
Okay, are we silent?
Stop talking.
Okay.
Just enjoy the hug.
Did you put deodorant on this morning?
This man cannot help but be awkward. Why, like, like, I get it. We all have our quirks, okay? We all have our quirks. But some things, it's just like, why, what would make you do that? Earlier in the episode, they were talking about how he wakes her up by flashing a flashlight in her eyes. Come on. Let's be fair. That's not even a quirk. You're like, who does that? Why would you would you like to be woken up in that fashion? Probably not. So let's not do that to Evelyn, okay? Okay. Tayla and Hugo do the photo ranking challenge, and you would think this woman is being tortured in a war or something. The way that she has to think, oh, Hugo, attractive? I mean, fine, I guess.
There is a part of Hugo that I find attractive, and that is his height. I think you definitely deserve to go first.
Do you reckon you deserve to be put at the top with how you've been treating me? You can go second last.
Her ranking him first was absolutely a cop-out. Absolutely a cop-out. But like I said in earlier in this season, just get the memo, get with the program, and if you're not going to rank them first, rank them up high. Don't put them low. And here you have Hugo putting her second to last. Because one, he thinks her answer was disingenuous, which it was. But two, he's basing it more off of where they are in their relationship currently, and she hasn't been treating him well, and she acknowledged that. But then she turned into the victim. She was like, you didn't have to do that to me, and now I feel like we're not in a good place. Tayla, if you're not in a good place, it's because of you, okay? You know damn well he did that to get back at you, and clearly it worked. Alyssa and Duncan sit down with Alyssa's mom, who, like me, believes that, man, Duncan is just too good to be true.
How are you? Is he too good to be true? Like, is he too perfect? So then what's your feeling about Alyssa having a child? Are there any feelings that come up for you?
Look, that's something to work through, but at the same time, we both are emotionally invested.
The man passed with flying colors. Bring me a universe, Jesus Christ, Allah, whoever is listening, bring me a Duncan. I would love to have somebody who's just this understanding, this compassionate, this romantic. Duncan. Oh my goodness. I love this man. I love this man. Any kind of thing that's thrown at him, he handles it so maturely, with grace, with compassion. Like I cannot say better things about Duncan. So here's where things start to take a turn for us, okay? Sandy and Dan, for whatever reason, have now had sex. Off the heels of him saying he doesn't find her physically attractive. Baby girl, I don't know if y'all was drunk. I don't know if this was your attempt in building an attraction. I don't know what the reason was. But I know y'all shouldn't have done it. And clearly things have only gotten worse in their relationship, because after having sex, Dan is more distant now than he's ever been. So they're having a tiff about like where he's been the last few hours and stuff like that. And they can't even really get into it because now it's time to meet the family. Ooh, were there some juicy tidbits in this conversation?
Sandy is a little bit of an overthinker. So she gets in her head a little bit. You're not an active person, you don't want to be, and I'm not feeling that energy connection, and energy is so important to me, as you know, right?
Right.
The fact that Sandy is allergic to ocean water and can't go in it, I mean, that gives me anxiety. It's such a beautiful and refreshing conversation to have with you, G, because you get me.
I do.
You do, you really do.
Number one, not them teasing the affair. Not them teasing the affair in our faces. Actually, I don't even know if I could call it an affair, because we're learning about it outside of the experiment. If you don't know, Dan has already been spotted with a next woman who was at the wedding. Most likely this one. It's either this one or the woman who was on display. I don't quite remember which woman it was. But yeah, number two, I forgot I was doing a counting system. I don't respect Dan whatsoever, because clearly prior to this conversation he had a lot of grievances on his chest, and he decided to blindside Sandy and air everything out in front of company in a very disrespectful way, mind you. And he's making it seem like she's a couch potato, she's lazy, she has no drive in life, she's on a try, like just like the way he went about it, I was like, ew. Whatever redeeming qualities Dan had prior to this episode, they are gone. Tawny and Ollie meet with their family, and honestly, things couldn't be better.
Tawny and I have been really strong since the beginning. I think she got the tick of approval from my mum and sister on the wedding date.
Yeah, they're a good match.
Very good match.
Yeah.
Very strong match. A strong couple.
It's really nice to see how happy they are. It makes me happy.
I only have one critique, and it's not really a critique. It's just kind of like oh, I wish I would have seen this. I would have liked for them to dive into potential roadblocks down the road. Maybe they have, and we just didn't get to see it. But I think like when you're in a really good place in your marriage or in a partnership or friendship, whatever, that's the time to iron out potential things so that you can handle them preemptively. You know, prevention is better than trying to fix something after the fact. So it would have been nice for them, at least like with a sounding board, to say, you know, there could be something that would be an issue down the road. If this was to happen, how do you think we should handle it? Stuff like that. But they're in a good place. Families co-signing this relationship. So yeah, nothing bad to say. Lyndall and Cameron, we got a lot of bad to say. I will say they did end up resolving, which is great. However, they're holding on to this hug situation, and I'm just like, was it really that deep on both ends? Was it really that deep? So here it comes up in the conversation with the families, and I'm like, oh, Cameron's mother is an enabler.
I was completely unaware that that would cause you that kind of discomfort.
Like, words are really hurtful to people, and you've really, once you've said them, that's...
Yeah.
See, I see it as an insecurity. People that want that constant touching affection.
Oh, okay.
Just spent $4,000 on it.
So Lyndall's mom has already apologized for putting Cameron in a compromising situation. He felt uncomfortable, and she acknowledges that. She apologized. You would think things would be fine going forward. No. Here you have Cameron's mom talking about, well, I would have hung up and I wouldn't take this from anybody and blah, blah, blah. And then furthermore, she goes on to talk about Lyndall saying that she's insecure and an attention seeker for wanting affection from her husband. Excuse me? Excuse me? What? And then she's like, oh, he's so cooped up in this process, like in this experiment. I don't even know how he's surviving in this environment. Girl, he's not in an insane asylum. He's in like a damn near hotel, okay? He's doing just fine. She's acting like he has to be touching dirt for him to feel like himself. And maybe he does, but he's doing fine. Like, relax. So yeah, I'm just like, it's making more sense why maybe he's been single for so long if he has people in his life who kind of coddle him, and his mom is one of those people. So he and Lyndall are having a back and forth about like, your mom is too involved, or your mom is too involved. And then Lyndall's like, well, my mom's a good person. Not good. Not good at all. Not good at all. Cameron did walk off, but they came back together and they resolved the situation. So yeah, he did promise to be more affectionate. And I'm like, that was supposed to be the outcome of the first altercation. Like, I don't even know why it permeated into this dinner, but it did. So yeah, you got to step it up, Cameron. Leighton and Melinda, when it comes to them, they have clusters of good days, and today is a continuation of a good cluster.
I think anyone in a relationship needs communication and conversation, and we can't figure out how to do that without fighting.
I'd love to see how this goes outside the experiment. So I've certainly thought about it. So.
I think we'll make it work after the experiment.
I really commend these two on pointing out the fact that, yes, we are both headstrong. We are both stubborn people. We don't agree on everything. However, they know how to resolve conflict very well. It seems. We haven't really seen much conflict between them. Like, they talk about conflict, but we don't see it as the public. The resolution is great between them though. So I'm like, I would rather couples who understand we are so different, but we're going to make an effort to find the middle ground. Instead of like, I'm different, you don't understand me, there's nothing you can do to understand me, and so I'm not even going to try. Like, that annoys me. So to see two very headstrong people find a way to, you know, it's great. It's really nice to see. Harrison, oh, this man just exhausts my entire spirit. Harrison is keeping up this charade that he's the victim in this marriage. And thankfully, Bronte's sister is not buying the charade.
Just haven't seen it. Did get a girl approach him at the bar. Yeah. I trust Harrison. I've chosen to trust, and I actually genuinely do. If you with her, you
mic'd up and on camera, Kira.
Yeah.
Bronte needs to be the one who has this energy in this marriage. Bronte needs to be the one who is not taking any of Harrison's BS, because let me tell you something. I'm pretty sure in this conversation, they didn't even begin to scratch the surface on the type of stuff Harrison has been doing and saying. He gaslights her. He manipulates her. He switches the narrative to make himself seem like the good person and Bronte seem like the bad guy, where time and time again, he's the one in the wrong. And somehow Bronte is convinced, because again, I don't believe in this marriage, but we're going to pretend like it's real. She somehow gets convinced to be the one to apologize for things that she did not do. I don't understand it. I need the energy of Bronte's sister to permeate into Bronte. Please and thank you. So Claire has been on a mission to win Jesse's affection, and she's doing pretty well. She curated a day solely for Jesse.
The vibe right now between Claire and I is just playful. It's fun. Nice. It's just, yeah, carefree.
Whoa. That's a riff from one of my band songs.
I must admit, you've done pretty well this week.
Oh, I'm glad.
At least she is making an effort to build a connection between the two of them. That's great and all, but I feel like this relationship is dead in the water. It is dead in the water. I do think that if things were great from the wedding on, then maybe this relationship would have potential. But because it's just been like bad after bad after bad after bad after bad, like I don't see real. I don't see potential. I don't see longevity. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying in this connection, but maybe they'll end up being really good friends. And that's all that I can say about these two. Last but not least, since we are at the halfway point, of the experiment. A couple of the guys decided to go out and celebrate. However, there was a butt dial that exposed Dan. How do I even say it? Like, basically he was just saying he's too good for Sandy.
He was insinuating that he was too good for this experiment and too good for you, boasting about like how hot his ex-girlfriends were.
Are we surprised? No, because again, the comments at the wedding, and the comments were made by the woman who was here in these 2 episodes trying to advise this couple. Interesting. The comments at the wedding made it seem like if Sandy and Dan were out at the same bar at the same time in their separate groups, he would never even think of approaching her. That's the impression that I received. So I'm not surprised at all that now he's comparing his exes to Sandy and basically saying he's too good for the experiment, he's too good for her, like he deserves better or whatever. It's not a surprise whatsoever. But I'm just like, Dan is showing his ass. He's showing his ass. And it's like embarrassing because coming in, I felt like he would have been one of the more stellar husbands, like a Duncan. Ooh, can't even believe I associated those 2 together. Ew. So yeah, it's very unbecoming of you, Dan. And good on Evelyn for saying, oh, she already noticed this behavior from Dan from her wedding. She's like, something about him is not sitting well with her. Well, we're now in the boat with you. Dan can go. I'm ready for this relationship to end because we know they don't end up together anyways. So I'd like to wrap this storyline up very quickly so we can move on. As always, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next one.